Hey guys, welcome back. So I look like a total crazy person today, and I guess I'm really demonstrating how important eyebrows are for a look. But we are going to be doing Eyebrows 101 today, and we have a special guest with us because this little lady can be walking around the house pleased as punch, as happy as can be, and the second the camera gets set up, she insists on being involved and thinks that she just has to have her mommy and has to play and talk and all that good stuff. So we're going to try to do this with her sitting here. I don't know how it's going to work out. Anyway, we are going to be doing Eyebrows 101 today, and when I initially decided to do this video, I was just going to show how I fill my brows in. As you can see, my eyebrows are blonde, and so I have been filling in my eyebrows pretty much as long as I've been wearing makeup. So I have a very, very particular way that I do it, and I don't do ombre brows, and I don't do the thick brows, just because this is what suits my face and this is what I like. Well, when I decided to do this video, I got to looking at my eyebrows and I realized that they actually really needed to be, you know, like shaped up and trimmed a little bit and everything. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and include that in this video too, because there's nothing worse, or it's one of my biggest pet peeves when people have gorgeous, intricate shadow looks and super sharp carved out brows, and then they've got all these hairs. And I'm not like picking on people or being mean or anything, but I think what bugs me about it is because it looks unfinished, and I am such a done kind of person. So it's just one of those things that gets me. I'm like, oh, and it really only bothers me when people are actually taking pictures of their eyeshadow. That just kind of gets me. So anyway, we're going to get started. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to pin my brows back, and we are going to first trim our brows. Now, if you do not have long eyebrows, and when I say that, what I mean is like the hairs themselves are long, or aren't long rather, then you don't really need to do this part. But because mine are long, mine are so long they actually will curl, and I think that's probably because of my PCOS. If anybody else has PCOS and theirs does that, let me know. So this is something that I have to do. So you're going to need some little manicure scissors. Of course, you're going to need tweezers, but we're not using those just yet. And you're going to need something to brush your brows up and down with. So you can use a spoolie, you can use a lash brow combo, or you can use an angled hair dye brush, because your lash brow combo comb thingamajiggy broke like months ago, and every single time you go to the store, you forget to buy it. This works in a pinch though. So anyway, I have a magnifying mirror right here in front of me, and then I have the camera. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to scoot as close as possible and try to show you what we're doing. So the first thing that we're going to do now, like I said, if your brows are not long, you don't need to do this, but mine are. So first you're going to brush them. You can somewhat see what I'm doing. Okay, you are going to brush these straight down. Now normally I would not do this with makeup on, but I, you know, have no choice. Okay, now you can kind of see, oh, my hair's so fair it's hard to see. There's little tiny hairs that are extending lower than all the rest. You're going to take your scissors and you're just going to trim those really quick. And so how I do it is, unfortunately, Messenger has stopped. I don't care. Hold on, sorry. Something's popped up on my phone here. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so you're going to just trim the hairs that are extending a little bit lower than the others. And this, when we brush them down and do it, that's really helping to define our arch, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a second. Now, you're just going to brush them straight up. Okay, you're getting down. That means you want to. Have to have a pep talk before I put her down. And you're just going to brush them straight up. Now this is mainly for these hairs on the inside here. You're going to hold your scissors like this, and you're just going to trim these ever so slightly. Basically all the ones that are sticking up quite long. You don't want to trim them too short, or then they won't lay down properly. And then you can brush them straight. And that is basically what you're left with. Now, as for shaping your brows, eyebrows should start, the inner corner should start, like if you take at the corner of your nose and you lay a pencil or a pen or a brush or something, this is where the brow should stop. Now it's okay if they're a little short on angled this way. Mine actually, you can kind of see they like just hit the pencil. That's okay. You do not want them to be longer. So let's say, for instance, angle in this way, because like I said in my contouring video, ideally you should be able to fit one of your eyes in between your eyes. But also, for one thing, that's going to close your face up, but that's also going to make you look like you're frowning, like furrowing your brow kind of. And so you're going to close your face off, and you don't want that. So the inside of the brow, the front of the brow, whatever you want to define that as, will go straight up from the corner of the nose. The tail or the end of the brow is going to be at a 45-degree angle from the outer corner of the eye. Now, this length is a little more personal for people. You do not want to go straight down, because then that's going to drag your whole face down, and that just does not really look good on anybody. Now, as for the arch is going to be on the outside of the iris. So here's your pupil. Here's your iris, and then you can take your little brush and you can line it up here, and then just angle ever so slightly. She's messing with my curtain. Angle ever so slightly, and that is where your arch is supposed to be. Now, this is going to sound insane coming from me, but my theory with brows is that you need to make them as natural as possible, in the sense that if your eyebrows naturally are quite thin, then you're going to just go ahead and work with that. If they're really thick, just make sure they look nice and clean. Now, come here. One of the first things we learn in beauty school is that eyebrows are sisters. They are not identical twins, which means they're not meant to look exactly alike. They're always going to be a little bit different. We do not, however, want them to look like they're not even related. So we do need to try to get them as shaped as close as possible. Now, I'm not the best person in the world to be demonstrating this on, because my eyebrows, I really don't have a lot of hairs that grow out of place. Even before I started shaping and really tweezing my brows, they basically looked just like this. They were just not quite as arched. But I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you can kind of go back and do it however you need to. So what you're going to do first is you're going to look around and see if you can find any. She's touched my mirror or something on it. If you've got any like blatant hairs that are seriously out of, or in the way rather, that are not supposed to be there. Then you're going to look at where your arch is. So remember, angle from the outer iris. And if there are any hairs in this area that are not supposed to be there, okay, good, go put it away. Thank you. Sorry. Then you're going to tweeze those as well. So I'm going to see if I can angle this up a little bit so I can see. Oh yeah, okay. Hopefully y'all can see this. And I see a couple hairs here. And I'm just going to get these. Okay. You don't want to go too far up yet, because you don't want to create like super huge arches that don't make you look surprised. Okay, now you're going to go to the inner corner, and what you're going to do is lay your tweezers right where you want the width, I guess, the thickness of the brow to start. And then you are literally, stop baby, you are literally going to tweeze the hairs in a single file motion. So you kind of do like one row at a time. This prevents you from getting them too thin. And then that way you can always just go back and take more off. You obviously can't put more back on. That's awesome. Stop. And like I said, my hairs they just don't grow. And one of the reasons is because the more, I've always tweezed my brows. And what happens is the more the hair is actually removed by the root, the more you have a likelihood of damaging the follicle. And that's why they always tell young women, you know, thinner brows do typically look better on young people, but you don't want to thin them too much, because they will eventually quit growing. My grandma's are the same way. She's in her 70s. She's going to kill me for telling people that, but she's in her 70s, and her eyebrows she tweezes like 3 or 4 hairs, and that's literally it. And that's how mine are too. And I guess I just got her brows. Okay, so now you're just going to brush them into shape, and because she's messing with my mirror, I can't look too much to make sure they're really clean, but because my brows are blonde, it doesn't show a whole lot, but you get the general idea. Also, you know, you can tweeze in between here. I don't have any hairs there, so I don't have to do that, but remember, what you want to do is make sure that your lengths are somewhat right. You're then going to get all of the hairs that are going in this area, then go ahead and get a couple of the ones that are on the low part of the arch, and then start on the inner corner and go single file and work your way back until you get the shape that you want. You can always keep going back and forth. If you need a lot of shaping, then what you could do is take a very dark pomade or pencil or something and draw your brow in the way you want it, and then just tweeze all the hairs below it. You never want to tweeze the top because it will eventually lower the brow. You actually want to tweeze from the bottom, because if you progressively do that, you can kind of train your brows to grow a little bit higher. If you're starting carte blanche and they really, really need a lot of work, you might just want to go ahead and go get them waxed one time and then just tweeze them after that, like keep the maintenance up that way. Okay, now we're going to fill our brows in. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. We're going to fill our brows in, and to do my brows, I'm first starting with pomade, and I'm using this is just the lid, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in Auburn, I believe is the color. Yeah. Now, you do not have to use this. This stuff is really expensive, but a side note, I can't remember how much I paid for this. Yes, you see that baby in that mirror. I bought this like 2 years ago, and look how much I still have left. So it's worth it, I guess. But it's either Wet n Wild or NYX makes an almost exact dupe for this. So don't think that you have to go out and buy Dip Brow. Okay, and so now I'm taking an angled shadow brush. This is by Essence of Beauty. Don't do that. And first what I'm going to do is I find it helpful to raise my eyebrows. And I'm going to start on the inside, and I'm just going to start laying the color down. And I'm only going to work on this part first. I'm going to make sure I have this the way I like it, and then I'll move on to the other side. Don't do that, sweetie. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to check in this mirror right here since she's playing with that one. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to add some more product. This stuff is super, super pigmented, so you do not want to make the mistake I did the first time I used it and just get your brush all in there, and then you have like a black swipe across your eyebrow. That's not cute. Okay, now we're going to do the tail. Now, like I said, I don't do ombre brows, and I don't do those little hair-like strokes that a lot of people recommend. I feel like Dip Brow does not do that well, so I don't do that. Okay, now that we've got the pomade down, now we're going to carve out our brows. You do not have to do this, but it is very helpful for a few reasons. One reason is because obviously it cleans it up. It's also going to help hide like where you may have a couple of little hairs that you left. This is going to cover that up. And also it's a built-in highlight for the brow bone without it being shimmery if you're not into shimmery shadow. So what I've done is I've taken a flat concealer brush. This is by Essence of Beauty. Sorry. And this is the NYX Wonder Stick. It's upside down that way, whatever. It's the NYX Wonder Stick. This is the highlight side, and I'm just going to trace, please don't move, Charlotte, trace underneath my brow. And if I feel like which I did fine on this, but if I feel like I went too low, I'm going to graze my brush over. Now, where'd my, she took my brush off. Now I'm going to wipe this brush off. Okay, and now I'm just going to blend this in. Sorry. I'm going to check to make sure I've got it. Okay, now, to help set that and to actually highlight it and give us our brow bone color, I'm going to take my brow bone color. I showed you how I do this in my contouring video. This is that same brush. This is the Crown Shadow and Crease Duet. This is the shadow side. I'm going to pack the color right in my arch. You want this a little more opaque here. And then I'm going to blend from side to side and just make sure that I have it all in there like I like. Hold on, you're going to unscrew this. People aren't going to watch Mommy's videos because they're going to think she's crazy. Okay. All right, now that we have that, we're going to do the last step with them, and that is we're going to now take a brow pencil. This is the Maybelline Expert Wear Brow Pencil in light brown. I have used a million brow pencils, and I always go back to this one because it has a great color match, and I have been wearing this. Stop. I have been wearing this since I started wearing makeup. This is the brow pencil that I've always used, and it's cheap. Well, not cheap. You know what I mean. It's affordable. And the reason why we're doing this is, one, we're going to sharpen this up, but two, I have, like right here, I do not have a lot of hairs that grow here, and dip brow does not adhere to skin very well. So it kind of makes me look a little patchy. So I like to take this to go over it because it is so waxy, so it grabs onto the skin better and looks like there's actual hairs there. Also, this makes it sharper, and because, like I said, my brows are long, so they're a little unruly, and this helps kind of like, this helps kind of like tamp them down. And all I'm going to do is, yet again, raise my brow, start on the inside here, and just literally draw them on. Now, yet again here, I do not do hair-like strokes. This will actually, because we are putting this over pomade, oh, I didn't want that. Because we are putting this over pomade, this is actually going to, she just moved my light. Dang it. Okay. It's actually going to, like, it'll pull the pomade up underneath it if you try to use those hair-like strokes. Now that is the extent of how I do my brows. Like I said, I am super particular. I've been filling my brows in pretty much since I started wearing makeup. And I think it's really cool that that's kind of like the thing to do nowadays, is to fill your brows in, because I always thought when I was younger that everybody should at least give it a little swipe. Your eyebrows are really important. They provide a stop for the forehead. They provide a frame for the eyes. Just like blush can tone down a really crazy eye look, an eyebrow can too, because it frames the whole look and kind of anchors it, I guess, to the face. So anyway, that's it. Let me know what kind of products y'all like to use for your eyebrows, and I thank y'all so much for taking the time to watch this. If you like this video and would like to see more of these 101 style videos, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. I have a goal to try to get to 50 by Christmas. As it stands right now, I think I have like 26, but I really would like to try to get that far. And if you know somebody else that would like to see this video, go ahead and share it with your friends. If there's something that you would like to see in particular, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.